So this is the silent killer in every cleaning business. So many people are aware of what it is, but in my view, they don't track the number carefully enough. So it's the churn rate. So churn is something that most people have come across. They know the term, and often it gets used in terms of thinking about clients who cancel each month. So let's say you had 100 recurring clients and 2 or 3 cancel each month. That would be a 2 to 3 monthly churn rate. But we also need to think about churn rate with regards to your cleaners. How many cleaners are leaving each month? How long on average are they staying with your business? Because what you'll find is that if your cleaning business has high client churn or cleaner churn or both, it's going to be extremely difficult to grow your company, because as you scale, the absolute number of clients or cleaners leaving your business grows, and it means that your marketing has to work that much harder to cover those clients that have cancelled, as well as leaving enough left over to grow your company further. So in today's video, I want to talk about client churn and cleaner churn, what drives them both, how we can remedy some of those issues, and some numbers to aim for. So first of all, let's look at client churn. So as I said, client churn is generally thinking about, the recurring clients on your books. And your clients can cancel for a number of reasons. They might be moving out of the location. Maybe they have budgetary issues, or maybe there are quality issues. So quality is obviously the main thing that we can control. And if you're getting lots of cancellations because of quality issues, you need to go in there, follow up with your cleaners, maybe give some training or feedback and things like that. But many people who are aware of what their churn is don't necessarily have a number that they track and then they try and improve on. So the number that I tell people that they want to aim for is a 5% monthly churn rate or less. So how that is defined is that it looks at the number of recurring clients that you have at the beginning of a particular month, and what percentage of those recurring clients typically cancel within the month. So if you had 100 to begin with, 5 cancel over the month, that would be a 5% churn rate. And actually a 5% churn rate or lower is a really, really good number to aim for. If you're in that sort of 5 to 10% range, getting up towards 10% or even higher, then in all likelihood, you've probably got some quality issues in there. So you need to make sure that every recurring client that cancels, you understanding why that they cancelled. And if you are getting a high proportion of cancellations being quality related, you need to go in there and track it carefully. And this is where using a software like Zenmade or Booking Koala is really, really important. They obviously will send automated ratings and feedback requests to clients, so you can track the ratings for each client and for each cleaner as well, and that can help you drill down and figure out where these quality issues are coming from. So what I find is that the companies that grow quickest often have a very high retention. They are tracking their churn rate closely, and certainly this is what I find working with our best performing cleaning companies that we work with. As many of you know, I run a marketing agency, Project 83, and we work with lots of cleaning companies. And what we find is that if your business has a very low churn rate, it allows you to have a very high lifetime value for any clients that you onboard, because they're staying with you longer, they're not churning quickly, they're staying with you longer, and it allows you to outspend your competition and still make money as well. So I'll leave a link to our website in the description below for those of you that are interested. So aside from client churn, we also have cleaner churn. And I hear very, very few people talking about this. But the reason why we need to track cleaner churn and client churn quickly is often you'll find that if you've got a very high turnover of cleaners, if your cleaners aren't happy, they feel underpaid, or underappreciated, they will probably not stay with you a particularly long time. And there is no greater driver of client churn than cleaners cancelling as well. So in the same way that you need to track your monthly client churn, you want to be thinking about tracking your churn rate on your cleaners side as well. So how long on average will they stay with you? You know, if your average cleaner is only staying with you for 3 months, you know that you have got a big cleaner retention issue. You know, is it the pay in the market? Maybe you need to go on Indeed and have a look at what the pay rates are for, you know, other cleaning companies who are trying to advertise for staff in your area. Maybe they're underappreciated. You know, getting paid well is only one part of job satisfaction. Are you checking in regularly with them? How are they finding their clients? Are they happy with their clients? Are there any clients that they're not happy with? So having this, relationship and building these relationships with your workforce is extremely important as well. And you will find that if cleaners feel listened to and appreciated, they will stay with you for longer. And, they will refer friends and family to you as well. So tracking your cleaner churn is really, really important as well. And then, so once you find that your cleaners are staying for longer, it is likely that your clients, your recurring clients, will be getting used to the cleaner. They'll be building a relationship. You'll find that the retention of your clients is that much higher as well. So make sure that you track your cleaner churn in the same way. At the beginning of your business, when maybe you don't have many clients or many cleaners, you'll find that the percentages are all over the place. But as the business grows and you are going from, say, 10 cleaners to, say, 20 cleaners or 30 cleaners, then these percentages will start to stabilize as well. So once you have your client churn and your cleaner churn under control, that is really when you should be aggressively going after marketing. I think if you've got a big churn rate on either the client or the cleaner side, then putting money into marketing is really like the leaky bucket analogy. You are pouring water in, but you're losing lots of water through the holes in the bucket. So if you can plug those holes, if you can reduce the churn rate, it means that your bucket will fill that much more quickly. So get your client churn and your cleaner churn under control, then put money into marketing. So take a look at my top 20 marketing channels for cleaning businesses guide. I'll leave a link in the description. It goes through what I think are the best marketing channels out there. So you want to go through that list, try them all, track the return on investment for each. And what you'll find is that given that you have addressed your client churn, your cleaner churn, now your marketing will be that much more effective. So out of that list, I go into Google marketing in a bit more detail because I still think that this is the very top tier. Getting visible and page one on Google, I think is going to be the most effective use of your time and resource. So in this next video, I want to go into a bit more detail, introduce you about Google marketing. So I'll see you on the next one.